So, Mark, did you see that MGM is going to start recruiting new employees with VR headsets? Like, go to a job fair and they are going to put the headset on you to show you what it's like to work at the front desk or to serve, I don't know, drinks at a bar or whatever. Is this a good
I
idea?
mean, do you need that to know? I mean, I think everybody's been to a hotel or to a bar. Or, I don't. I don't know what the point of it is. I guess. When I first saw the article, I was like, oh, they're giving away VR headsets as like a sign up bonus, and then I start to
Popular
read
story.
it. Yeah, I start to read it, and I was like, oh, okay. Okay. I don't understand it, but hey, you got to do what you got to do. You got to try whatever. Nothing's really working. So
The thing, I guess, obviously, VR technology, Oculus, and all that is better than it's been, and you have metaverse and all of that stuff. But watching how MGM is sort of like falling over themselves about how they're going to have this technology like it's a brand new thing or something like that's funny. But I mean, you're going to be applying for your job in the metaverse, serving drinks in MGM Grand's virtual casino.
yeah, it's Ready Player One coming to real life. Here we go. We're ready. We're all going in.
Let's do it. All right, Mark. The big news happened this week. We had already kind of known this was going to happen, but the NFL made it official. The Super Bowl is coming to Las Vegas in 2024. That's after the Pro Bowl, I think, is coming in 2022 and the draft as well. Vegas getting some love. Not a big surprise, though. Pretty much every city that gets a new stadium tends to get the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, pretty much if you build a stadium, it will come. If you build it, he will come.
Even
Uh,
Detroit got when Ford Field was built,
oh,
even Detroit got a Super Bowl.
hey, Ford Field's very nice.
No, it's just cold in January.
Yeah,
That's all.
but that's why it's in a dome. It doesn't matter. It's always warm.
No, I know
Yeah,
to draw people in though for the
yeah,
they always like to have it in
yeah.
warm weather cities generally.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, so it's cool. Knowing Vegas, hopefully they don't, put four other concerts going on the same weekend, and which they will, and they'll probably have some other event, and they'll probably have like a hockey game, and just pack everything in there, and it'll be just a cluster. I can't even imagine. I will not be attending in any way because of that.
Hey, I'm excited that it's going to be in the hometown, and I'll get to maybe do some of the festivities. Hopefully, the Packers are punching their ticket for the 2024 Super Bowl as well. Then I can
You're gonna
go
shell
see
out the
them play.
like 10K if they make it.
Yeah, or maybe not. Yeah, especially in Vegas, right? The ticket prices are going to be even worse than normal. But
Yeah, you'd have to imagine.
yeah, I mean, and over the years, they've had kind of a rotating, group of cities that they've used in the NFL. Obviously, they give, one-off Super Bowls to places like Minneapolis when they built a stadium, Detroit way back when, whenever these cold weather cities build stadiums. But outside of that, cities like New Orleans and Miami, these warmer weather southern cities have regularly held the Super Bowl. I expect Vegas will be in that mix given our, tourist culture
Is
and
it
everything. So,
is it so warm though? I mean, I think it's
well, warmer than
twice. I
warmer.
think it's twice as warm in Michigan right now as it is in Vegas.
It is true. I'm getting bad karma right now for all of those screenshots I send you of like the warm weather we had all throughout November.
Yeah,
Today it's colder than both Detroit, I think, and New York City is like 60 degrees today, where we're
yeah, 60
freezing
here
our butts
too.
off.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so it is colder here in Vegas. So who knows? But I mean, do you expect that they'll have the Super Bowl here every 5-6 years, similar to what you see in Miami?
Yeah, I don't know because, like we said, weather is a little bit unpredictable in Vegas in February. I used to go for March Madness every year, and it was funny. Every time I'd go to Vegas, it'd be warmer in Michigan than it was in Vegas for March Madness. So, you know, I will say like they have the infrastructure set up to handle it, which a lot of cities don't, and that was an issue with Detroit when they got it. They had to like add all these hotels and come up with ways to keep people, and people were staying in the suburbs, and where Vegas is pretty much set up for it. So I could see it for that reason. I don't know if weather will be a huge draw, but I think just having, one, it's a big tourist attraction, and two, having all the infrastructure of hotels already there, I could see it for sure.
The big difference between our weather here, though, and the weather you have up there is that we never get as cold. Like your extreme colds are that would
Yeah,
just
with the
kill the
wind.
average Las Vegan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would just we would just die within about 30 seconds. So I don't know. It's good to see that. Very excited for that. I did want to talk about. I've been back and forth with the Legion a little bit. I saw on Twitter a couple months ago they had that ticket package where you could get a hotel room and two tickets to the game and a 200 level seating. And I booked it, $120 all in, or I guess plus resort fee at Luxor. Back then, you could book it for like a Sunday or Monday night, and it would work. I've noticed they've changed the terms on their packages now, so you have to book the Saturday night hotel. But I sent them a message, and of course, in true Allegiant low cost carrier style, they never responded to me, and I haven't received the tickets. I'm supposed to go to the game that's on Christmas, so just after Christmas. So we'll see if they screw me. What do you think the chances of me actually getting my tickets are?
How much? How much?
Yeah,
And they'll probably like hit you with a cancellation fee too or something, trying to cancel your room. It will be a mess, I bet.
Oh, I mean, I'll just dispute the charge. I have the confirmation that says I get the tickets, so hopefully Allegiant will actually come through. I'm guessing that they're gonna do it based on what tickets are available right before the game, so maybe the week of. But hopefully I'll report back on what happens. But I'm
Yeah,
not
'cause
going to
it's a
spend
killer.
hours of my time, fighting
It's a
with them.
killer deal. So if it works out, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's a killer deal as long as I don't have to spend the next 2 weeks fighting with them and spend multiple hours on the phone. So I'm not going to do that. I did send them a message. I sent them a follow up, and I wouldn't recommend Allegiant Vacations just for this because it's been like over 2 weeks and they never responded. So don't book your vacations through Allegiant. I don't know who is booking their vacations.
Don't
through
book
Allegiant,
anything
but-
through Allegiant. No flights, nothing.
All right. Now, we did a whole video earlier this week about the blockbuster sale of Mirage to Hard Rock International, the future Hard Rock Las Vegas. And we talked all about it. So I recommend looking at the video. We have all the details of the sale and what's going to happen. But we did learn a few new things about what's going to happen with an interview of Nevada Independent had with Jim Allen, the CEO of Hard Rock International. And let's start off with this. He says, basically, for the existing 3,000 rooms, it's their plan to gut them completely, bathrooms and everything. So those tiny bathrooms aren't going to be an issue. Hopefully, they're going to redo the sort of layout, although the rooms themselves, Mark, as you know, I'm obsessed with this, are not that big, but this is going to be a huge project if they're going to be gutting the entire tower.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. But you thought they'd just, put some new carpet in, throw some paint on the wall, call it a day, type of thing. So I wonder if they'll do it in phases. Because I'm guessing they want to keep it running. So maybe do like this tower at one time, this tower, and then they're adding in the guitar tower. So that seems like a lot to take on right off the bat. I'm kind of surprised. I thought they'd probably focus on the guitar tower, get that up, and then go around remodeling the room. So we'll see how they structure it out. But I am surprised that it's a complete gut job.
I mean, based on what he said, I'm guessing that the guitar tower is going to be at the end after they renovate the whole thing, because he did say that it may or may not be their second
Volcano's
guitar tower.
staying for a while.
Well, there was also some speculation that some people saying that the guitar tower couldn't fit on the land where the volcano is. I'm not sure I agree with that. I mean, obviously they could alter it from the one in Florida, but the one in Florida is not as big or as wide as you would think it is. So, I mean, there's a lot of space between the Strip and that Mirage front entryway at that kind of center. So we'll see how that goes, but most likely the volcano's gone, but hopefully it'll be around a little bit longer. But I would expect that they're probably going to start tearing apart these rooms as soon as they close next year. And there's one other thing we learned. He said, this is a quote. He says, as far as the Dolphins and the Tigers, that's part of the agreement between MGM and ourselves that we have no comment on at this time. Certainly we want to protect them and make sure that their lives as animals are as comfortable as they are today. That seems to tell me that they have made a decision and that it's confidential and that they're probably going to get rid of the animals and the Dolphins after they find a good home for them so that they can be, taken care of. That's my guess, reading into it.
Yeah, either that or maybe MGM's going to pop them up somewhere else at another property, either, in Vegas or one of the other ones, out in the world. But it definitely seems like it's not going to be staying.
Yeah, and they do need areas for pools, right? We know that that's a big part of their brand. Mirage has a really nice pool, but it's just a pool. And so I expect that Hard Rock's going to build more pools. And the only place I can see them doing that is really in that back area where all of that is. There definitely is not a lot of space where that guitar tower will be for a pool, but we'll see. But good to see that. The other interesting thing that came out of that interview, MGM will have, after they finish the sale of this and MGM Growth Properties and everything that's going on, they'll have $11 billion in cash on hand. So look for MGM, I guess, to make some other moves, considering, they sold off all their land for the most part in Vegas. They're an operating company, but they're looking to get into new markets. $11 billion is a lot of money.
Yeah, and they're like the airlines. They don't like to hold on to money or or pay down debt. They're probably gonna, yeah, invest it into something else. It's kind of crazy. You'd think you'd be like, hey, we just got through a pandemic, maybe we should hold on to some of this. But we joked about Caesar saying, oh, we thought the William Hill was too profitable when we bought him, so we're gonna put, sink some more money into it or what? I don't know, but it's crazy the way they think. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. It's stockpiled, ready to go for sure.
All right, so we're talking. All the big news is obviously Hard Rock this week, but there was another casino announcement, a new casino announcement. Station Casinos, which we've talked about, is expanding their Wildfire Casino in Henderson, while they have Fiesta Henderson, Fiesta Rancho, Texas Station closed. They're also building Durango in the Southwest, Durango Station, which you can see on our construction update. They announced they're going to build another Wildfire Casino, their 10th, on a piece of land that they're calling it downtown. It's on Fremont Street, but at Charleston, so it's very far from the Fremont Street experience. On the corner of a piece of land that used to be the historic Showboat Casino that's been closed for 15 years or something like that. It was called Castaways at the end, but it was Showboat for most of its life. So another Station Casinos continuing their expansion while they leave 3 giant properties closed. But another locals casino coming
Yeah,
downtown.
so weird. I don't understand the keeping some clothes and building new ones, and we really don't have an idea what they're doing with those. Is it a tax write-off, or are they trying to sell them, or what's going on with it? It's very, very bizarre and interesting that they're pouring money into new ones instead of dealing with the properties they already have. But only time will tell what's going on there.
Well, the original Wildfire Casino is on Rancho. It actually is across from Texas Station, and they do own that and operate that. So even though they have the 2 big casinos closed across the street, they're operating this little one. So it seems like maybe these Wildfire Casinos are their way to kind of get micro local casinos in certain areas, and instead of building these big properties, although they're building Durango Station, a bigger property too. So yeah, I mean, they want to double their footprint, they say, over the next decade, have a lot of land, and we still don't know what's going to happen to those closed properties. Still waiting to see for some sort of an announcement, but other than the only announcement I think we have is that they'll be closed through at least the end of this year, which is their gaming regulatory stuff. So keep you up to date on that. New casino coming downtown adjacent, or it is downtown, but not the Fremont that Mark, but it's a cool location. The Showboat used to have a 106 lane bowling alley, and I bowled there quite often. It was a cool old school property off the strip that I don't know a lot of people know about. So I'm really happy to see this area getting some love.
Yeah, it'll be cool to see. I mean, bowling's always fun. It's always good, especially if it's like the $2 games instead of how everything's moved to like the dance club bowling alley where you pay like $40 an hour and
Yeah.
it's like a rip off. But old school bowling lanes, that's where it's at.
Yeah, those bowling lanes were like world class. They held a PBA tournament every year, and then also it was like 106. Just the novelty of having a bowling alley that big with that many lanes was really neat back in the day. All right, last topic for today: tipping culture. We seem to be coming across this all the time now with these mandatory fees that are being added on. I came across one today on Twitter for Resorts World, adding a 23% mandatory service charge, the person tipping on top of that. So I wanted to ask you, what are your kind of standards? Now it seems like service charges, mandatory tips are becoming more common in Vegas now. Do you tip above that? What do you do when it's a service charge compared to like, a fee that they're charging, like a COVID fee or something like that? How do you differentiate there?
Yeah, a service charge usually is like an added gratuity, or even if it says gratuity. If it's like 18%, which we ran into at the Hyatt in Orlando out by the pool and stuff, they would automatically add an 18% tip, and they would actually circle it to let you know that was on there because we've known people that don't really pay attention and tip the normal tip without looking at it too closely. So that was cool. So if it's like that, I'll add a little bit more if the service was good because I normally tip 20-25%. If it's a service fee, if it was like a 23% service charge, I probably wouldn't tip because I'm assuming that's going to the server. Otherwise, it's just outrageous if you expect, a tip on top of that. The little COVID fees, if it's like a couple bucks, I'm not going to take that out on the server myself. I know some people do just to like send a message so they send it back to the boss, but I would still tip. I probably wouldn't go back there again because of some stupid $3 fee, but I'm not going to take it out on the person working.
I'm right there with you. If it's like a transaction fee, something like that, I'm not going to punish the server. I don't think it's fair to do that, but I also will never go back there. I mean, I think these fees are absolutely ridiculous. Now, in this case, like the one that I saw for Resorts World, 23% is a little bit higher than I've seen. Like to your point, 18 is probably normal. But the way if it's anything for like a mandatory gratuity or service charge, I assume that is going to the wait staff. And so like for good service or normal service, I guess, I'll just leave that. And then if you get like extraordinary service, then I have tipped above that as well, especially when it's 18%. Like I feel like if you get really good service to do that, but be careful. Like I've seen a lot of restaurants, not just on the Las Vegas Strip, that are adding in fees, making their checks a lot more complicated to read, in the way that they classify everything. And that's a good example here. I think in this case, with the one that we saw on Twitter, this person added an additional gratuity on top of the service charge, and it just all became very confusing as to what's going on. So be diligent there, because they're trying to confuse you. They're trying to sneak little fees in here and there.
I wonder how much they make off of like drunk people in Vegas that don't pay attention.
Oh God!
And then the next morning, I know my buddy got hit up for it at a club. It happened to him, but it was on a company card, so I guess it happened to the company. But you're not seeing so straight. The room is dark. The music's loud. You've had too many, and you just sign it. Put the normal thing. You wake up in the morning. You're like, oh man, what did I do? So I'm sure that's what they're hoping for.
And to your point, they're not like the Hyatt in Orlando where they're circling it, right? In Vegas, they've found ways to hide it. It's very now Resorts World is it's pretty clearly marked there, but I found a lot of places they hide it kind of in the subtotal, or it's you
like
have to kind of look for it.
Yeah,
it kind of just fits in right exactly with the tax. So you're just like, oh, it's all in there. A lot of people just look at that total; they don't pay attention to the rest. So be diligent there, because these places are out to get you. It's getting worse. Not that Resorts World's doing anything that anybody else isn't doing in town with those mandatory tips and stuff like that, but keep an eye on that. And I think that's going to do it for us. I'm really excited about this Hard Rock, the fact that they're going to gut the whole thing. I think that's exciting. I want to know what you guys think. I know
you just care about the bathrooms. That's all you care about.
Exactly. The bathrooms and the blue glass. Now the blue glass, I'm still a little bit torn on, but yes, the new bathrooms will be good. You don't have to sit on the toilet, 1 centimeter from the shower and the counter and everything else. Maybe there'll be some more space. I don't know. Let us know what you think about anything we talked about here today. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you next time.
See you next week.